and then one of these paddle tires is on backwards. So I'll have to screw around with that. Maybe tomorrow get those swapped around so they're both going the right direction. I'm not sure what the deal is there. Oh yeah! Alright, so you guys saw me having all kinds of trouble. I got that one bead off just fine, but the other one, man, would not go. So, I tagged out. I told my wife to just take it down to Walmart, and she had them swap the tire around for 10 bucks. So normally I like doing this kind of stuff myself, but that bead would not budge. You saw I had to modify my little Harbor Freight wobber jobber. It's not set up for such a big tire. So I had to add another hole so I could get enough height on this bead breaker. That still wasn't enough. I mean, sure, it probably would have been easier if I had that bolted down. Normally I bolt it to my flatbed trailer, but that's over at the storage yard, so I decided just to have Walmart do it. But all right, so we've got our tires flipped around correctly, but we still got a couple of problems we got to solve. So this wheel back here came with a missing wheel stud and no lug nut. So I went out and grabbed some parts. We're gonna work on fixing this guy too. All right, let me show you what we're dealing with here. This is a aluminum hub, and you can see that it uses threaded wheel studs, and so they thread back in here. Now I already took these apart, so I kind of know what I'm looking at, but let me explain it to you guys. So this one here is a fully threaded wheel stud. It goes all the way back as deep as it can. These other ones, let me take this one out for you. You can see it has this little shoulder on it, which means only these few threads are engaging in this aluminum hub. I'm worried about that. So I'm concerned that with only that amount of engagement, that there's potential that these could eventually rip out and destroy these hubs. I would much rather have something that threads all the way down like that, about as far as it goes, but then I won't have enough exposed wheel lug to install the wheel correctly. I searched the entire internet to try to find a wheel stud like this that's fully threaded with no shoulder on it like these guys have. I have looked everywhere and I cannot find it. Everything I see has got some kind of shoulder like this, or is a press-in wheel stud like this one here. So, what I had to do is I bought these guys here. I got 3 of them to replace the 2 junky ones and the one that was missing. And the plan here is if I just cut this entire shoulder off, clean up the threads, well then I should have a fully threaded portion that I can then just screw inside there, Loctite it all down, and I'll have full thread engagement. So I think that's a much better idea than trying to get by with just partial engagement with some junky piece like this. So let's go chop these bad boys up. All right, that worked out pretty well. But man, cutting these, what are these, grade 10.9 bolts, actually pretty difficult. So I'm gonna try a different method. All right, here we go. Alright, I'm noticing something as I'm sitting here playing with these guys. So these are both 14 by 1.5 pitch. But I noticed that these, which appear to be kind of cheap Chinese made stuff, opposed to the actual automotive grade wheel studs that I bought, these cheap Chinese ones fit extremely loose into these wheel hubs. You can just tell that they're very, very loose, whereas the automotive grade ones that I got, they have a very, very tight, very snug fit to them. So I think it was probably a good move getting away from these wheel studs that came in there and going to something which is a little bit better, even though it was a bit more work to grind off that head. But I think it'll work out well. All right, I think that worked out pretty good. Clean up some of this leftover Loctite. I think we're in business. They're not quite as long as this guy here, but this is a pretty high quality stud. Fully threaded, it goes all the way back, and it has the Allen key. So I decided instead of replacing this with one of these, I would just let it be slightly different. But I'm really happy with how these turned out. I think they are way better quality than these other ones. I mean, just the way that they fit inside the hub, and even the way that they fit to these automotive grade lug nuts. I mean, these ones are just, clearly they're so much looser. I mean, you can see how loose that is. So these are really undersized. I'm glad I replaced them. I bet, you know, with all the off-roading I'm gonna do, going to the sand dunes and jumping this thing, I don't think that would have held up very long. I think that would have ripped out. And once I ruin this hub, I don't know where the heck I would find another one. That would be not a good thing. So, I'm happy I fixed that. Oh yeah, so let me add a couple of things here. So, I already went through the other side off camera, and it has these lug nuts or wheel studs in all positions. Now they were completely loose, and so I took them all out, cleaned everything, and re-Loctited them and tightened them into place. So the other side is already good. Just wanted to add that. And then I keep referring to this stuff as automotive grade, and so what I mean by that is, you know, those other lug nuts are things that you'd buy on like eBay, or you'd buy at like a buggy store. These are wheel studs off of, I think, an F-350 truck, I think is what it said on the website. I went into O'Reilly Auto Parts store and just started looking through all of their 14 millimeter 1.5 wheel studs. I found these ones. They were had the really long thread, so that's what I went with, and I'm pretty sure it said it was for a Ford truck is what they came out of. So that's what I'm saying when I mean automotive grade. Yeah, that's it.